Hello everyone. It's James again. And to those of you that are new, thank you for giving this little cartoon man with a funny voice a bit of your time today. And for those that have been with me a long time, I thank you from the bottom of my little cartoon heart. Well, let's get right into things. I wanted to make this video the other day. However, I had some technical issues, which might have been a good thing, as I was able to digest more information on this topic. Now, for those of you that are new here, we talk about narcissism and narcissistic abuse, and usually how it relates to your toxic home of origin, or a relationship you might have been in, or a friendship or work situation. But myself and others out there have noticed that this same pattern of manipulation, gaslighting, projection, and turning certain people into scapegoats. And those are usually the ones that won't go along with the household narcissists program or BS. But at the same time they create golden children. And those are the ones that go along with the narcissist's delusions and evil and destructive behavior. And 9 times out of 10 that means them ganging up to destroy the scapegoat. And many of you that were on this channel were or are scapegoats. Now you have to be careful, because sometimes, if the scapegoat isn't around anymore, they will turn the golden child for a time into a scapegoat. But if you as the scapegoat try to jump back into the mix, thinking you're safe, you're not. Because the narcissist and the golden child will turn right back into their formation that was designed to destroy you. Well, at times we cover world events, without being too political, because we see the same trends, behaviors and dysfunctions, and quite frankly evil being played out on the world stage, the same way we experienced narcissistic abuse in our homes of origin, or the relationships we found ourselves in. Now, when this narcissistic abuse community started more than 15 years ago, people weren't commonly taking videos with their phones to get evidence of wrongdoing at the hands of others that are toxic and evil. Now it's an everyday thing. But back then we had a saying. And those that were on this channel way back when remember it. And it's a saying we didn't just say here, but it was said on many other channels that were talking about narcissism at the time. And that saying was, a narcissist won't admit to the truth, even if there is video evidence. Now, I'm not calling anyone a narcissist here. Not even the lady behind me. But the answers she was giving sure seemed like how a narcissist answers questions without answering a darn thing. And there is so much in this story that is almost a direct reflection of our story of narcissistic abuse. We've often said, please, please, please. If you even think, the person or family or friend you are around is possibly a narcissist, get away from them. And don't look back, because your life might be in danger. So let me get this right. The Secret Service were taking pictures of this guy like an hour before everything went down. They knew there was a problem. The guy even pointed a weapon at a local police officer. Yet they let Donald Trump still take the stage for this individual to have a chain to try to delete him. Now, this isn't a video about Donald Trump being good or bad or whatever. This is about societal narcissism. You see at face value or what you are being told to believe. All of this happened because of the stupid actions of those that either didn't know how to do their job, or didn't want to do their job. But if you watch the hearing where now former Director Cheadle testified, and I say former, because the day after she resigned. But when you listen to the testimony, you have to ask yourself, who and the blue heck planned all of this? SpongeBob and Oscar the Grouch from Sesame Street? But there were some tough questions asked. Such as, was there a conspiracy to delete former President Donald Trump? And the reason this was asked, as the mistakes were so big, they almost looked like they were done on purpose. I'm not saying they were, but from the outside looking in, more and more it's looking that way. Because if you just bring this back to a toxic narcissistic relationship, you are told and we are told. And I tell others. Please try to get out if you can. Because your life could be in danger. Even if they are acting sweet today. We see husbands and wives putting bleach in the coffee or sports drink of their spouses. Or they use antifreeze or other horrible things. They might even hire a hitman or hitwoman to do the deed. Sometimes they do it for the money. And sometimes they do it because they just don't like the person at all. Well, we know that there has been a lot of the media pushing tons of hate about Donald Trump. What if? What if former director Cheadle didn't like Donald Trump at all? So much so it affected how she did her job while protecting him. I'm just a little cartoon guy asking. If you watch the testimony, Donald Trump's team asked and asked and asked for certain things to be put in place to help protect him. And they were oftentimes denied. But the former director refused to talk about it. The same thing with RFK. Actually, he was denied protection even though he's had wackos break into his house. And his father and uncle were deleted under very strange and similar circumstances as what was attempted on Donald Trump. So please use this as an important thing to remember. If you think you are dealing with a narcissist in your life, please get out. Because your life could literally depend on it. But even though this 20-year-old so-called loner was able to fly a drone over the place the day before, walk around the day of for a few hours with a rangefinder checking distances, to the point those in charge are sharing pictures back and forth of him like they are sharing baseball cards. And then darn near 15 to 30 minutes before anything happens, people are trying to warn the police and Secret Service there is a weirdo trying to climb on top of the roof. A roof this lady didn't want to put any protection on, because she said it was too sloped. When this guy was able to get up there and set up shop just fine. Oh. And to mention there was Secret Service in the building. Literally inside the building this guy climbed up. So much so they took a picture of him while he was doing so. And they literally did nothing else. But yet when all of this is brought up and all the video evidence is shown, they can't admit to anything. Even though we've all seen it. And now their reports based on the sounds of the shots. There were likely 3 different weapons used. And experts that aren't a part of these official teams that are supposed to be getting us answers, are using their own time and expert knowledge to give us some information. So you hear a few slow muffled shots. Then you hear several rapid shots that sound completely and utterly different. Then one last single shot that sounds different from the rest. And from what it has been said for at least now, that last shot isn't the shot that took out Thomas Matthew Crooks. But then you listen to the people on the ground that were there, that were interviewed by the media minutes after all of this chaos took place. And approximately a dozen people said some of the shots came from the water tower. And almost every time one of the people said such a thing, you could see the reporters get uneasy and try to divert the questions to something else. I don't know if they had someone in their ear telling them to get off that topic. But it seems the second the water tower was mentioned, and we are talking minutes after while everything is still fresh, the reporters acted very strangely. Well, if you look at the video of the water tower while the deletion attempt was happening, there appears to be what looks like a person standing near the top. Some say it's a reflection. Others say it's a person. Well, when the deletion attempt is happening, it sure seems to move like a person. Then it vanishes behind the white top, where there is a ladder right there that is built onto the water tower, where you can climb up or down. Was there a person there? I don't know. But what I do know is, many years ago, when a bunch of buildings came down, one of the buildings that wasn't struck, I remember right as things were happening on the news. Real time. They said let's pull it. Or we are going to pull it. But after the fact it's like they did what narcissists say and do. They will say, oh, I never said that. Oh, I never did that. They gaslit people so bad over that one part. Because they knew, if they admitted to anything regarding that one particular issue, that it would open up a can of worms. They gaslit, projected and called people crazy, and got others to become golden children and say, "Oh boy, are you one of those people that think it was a so-called inside job?" Just like how the golden child would stick up for the narcissist parent. Well, here we are again. People on the news saying they heard the deletion attempt shots coming from the water tower. Just like JFK. Many heard the shots coming from the grassy knoll. Just like many a couple of decades ago, remember those that were in charge while things were happening real time, saying we are going to pull it. And again, I'm not calling any of these people narcissists. But, just like we've said, even if you have video evidence, they will still deny everything. And the reason why they do it is because it works. It works. The scapegoats get made fun of and smeared. And the golden children become the protectors of the narcissists, and it goes on and on and on. But I have a feeling about this situation. I have a feeling, though I could be wrong. This might be different. Because one thing we've talked about before is when the narcissist overplays their hand. Meaning, they have gotten away with their evil for years, if not decades. Their blame shifting works. Them setting up people works. Their gaslighting works. So much so, they go above and beyond their evil, and they do something so over the top. They are now shocked their tactics no longer work. Now they usually still don't admit anything. But enough information comes out where you can easily figure out the truth. And the game is over. There is too many videos from different angles, where sound experts are listening to every last detail, where other experts are chiming in, and people are a little less easier to sway. When there are hundreds of video angles out there, when the officials might try to gaslight everyone to believe something completely different. Was this guy alone? But we do know narcissists and other toxic people like to find those that are troubled do their dirty work for them, all while they let them take the fall. Many people for years thought Lee Harvey Oswald was a lone nut, until information came out decades later that this was unlikely the case. More than likely they promised him the world, and use the same tricks narcissists use to get less smart narcissists and other troubled people to do their dirty work for them, making them think they will come out of it smelling like a rose. Is that the case for Thomas Matthew Crooks? I think it's fair to ask. But narcissists don't want certain questions to be asked, right? How dare you question me? I'm your mother or your father. Whoever the narcissist was in your life, you had to go along with a script that was completely made up by these sick, messed up individuals. Well, the question would be, why are societal narcissists any different? Because we see the same playbook being run over and over and over and over. But even when there is video evidence, you will be labeled the crazy one that doesn't know what they are seeing, instead of real answers being given. At the end of the day, politically it doesn't matter who you like. Societal narcissism is real. It's just as real as the narcissism in your home. And just like we have been and continue to call out this evil secret we had to grow up with, there are those experts out there lending their time that are trying to do the same with in regards to societal narcissism. All I can say is we are living in some interesting times. We are living in some interesting times. Well, that's all I have for today. I do hope your day is blessed. And until next time, bye for now. And be good to yourself.